think I see something in there.
Welcome back, Warner fam. Today, I'm diving into the 2022 horror drama room 203. Buckle up and keep your eyes peeled, because things are about to get crazy. Let's get into it. So, the movie starts with a guy inside an apartment, checking things out while he's supposed to be renovating. But he's not just hammering nails, he's digging around. He spots a weird hole in the wall, but instead of questioning it like any normal person, he just sticks his hand in there. Why? Who knows? It's like he wanted to get hurt. Sure enough, he cuts himself. And guess what he pulls out? A creepy necklace. Classic horror movie moment, right? Later that night, after finishing his work, he's standing in the living room, staring at the stained glass window. It's like he's hypnotized by it. I guess he thinks it's prettier than his own life. Anyway, his girlfriend shows up, beer in hand, ready to make things a little more chill. They kiss, he gives her the creepy necklace he found, and surprise, she's into it. She's all smiles, and he goes off to grab more beers. What could go wrong? Then, out of nowhere, she starts acting all stiff, like she's seen a ghost, or maybe she is one. She smashes the bottle in her hand and starts slashing at herself. He tries to help, but no one's around to hear his screams. So he bolts out of the apartment, and boom, the door slams shut behind him. And yep, you guessed it. Room 203 is on full display. Spooky. The next scene shows Kim, the main character, sitting in a car with her parents. She's about to start college and decides to move out to live with her best friend, Izzy. Her parents think it's a huge mistake, especially since they think Izzy is a bad influence. They pull up to the apartment building, and right before Kim steps out of the car, her mom gives her a serious warning. She tells Kim that once she leaves, there's no turning back. It's like her mom is saying, "You're on your own, kid," but with a side of guilt. Kim looks disappointed but doesn't say much. She slams the door shut, showing just how upset she is, then heads inside to meet Izzy. The two friends walk up to their new apartment floor, excited and ready to start their new life. The landlord meets them by the elevator, and let me tell you, he's got the vibe of someone who hasn't smiled in years. He walks them through the apartment rules with a voice as dark as his personality. He warns them that the basement is strictly off limits, which immediately makes you wonder, what's really down there? He then tells them their floor is the last one to be renovated, which means the only other people living there are him and them. Talk about a lonely building. They head inside room 203, and the door slams shut behind them with an eerie thud. They're happy with the place, at least for now, but the stained glass window catches their eye. Izzy, being curious as always, reaches out to touch it, but the landlord snaps at her like a snake. "It's a historic building," he yells. "Don't touch it." Like the window's some ancient treasure. Kim grabs the keys from his hand, trying to brush off the weirdness. But with every moment, this place feels less like a new home and more like a bad idea waiting to happen. Kim is unpacking her stuff when she notices a hole in the wall. Instead of fixing it, she decides to cover it up with a mirror, because who needs to deal with a hole, right? After finishing her unpacking, Kim heads over to Izzy's room. She finds Izzy staring at a photo of her mom. Izzy's mom just passed away, and even though she tries to hide it, you can tell she's still hurting. Kim doesn't want her to be sad, so she starts joking around, pretending they're little kids again. She wants to lift Izzy's spirits, even if it's just for a little while. Then, Izzy comes up with a plan. They should drink margaritas to celebrate. Kim hesitates at first, saying she has school orientation soon, but, like every great friend, she agrees anyway. They end up partying and dancing all night, forgetting about everything else for a moment. The next day, Izzy is all about having round 2 of their party, but when she sees the hole in Kim's room, she can't resist checking it out. She sticks her hand inside, pretending to find something. Then she pulls a prank, acting like someone is pulling her arm from the inside. Kim, freaking out, rushes to help. Classic Izzy move. But when Izzy pulls her hand out, she's holding a necklace, the same one that creepy guy gave to his girlfriend in the beginning. Could this be cursed? Izzy decides to keep the necklace, wearing it like it's no big deal. Later that night, they hit up a bar, and that's when things get interesting. They meet 2 guys, and one starts flirting with Kim. Izzy isn't having any of that and punches him in the face. The guy's out cold, and they leave him lying there. The other guy is cooler, and Izzy brings him home. Things heat up quickly, and they start making out. But as things start getting steamy, Izzy suddenly falls asleep. The guy, clearly disappointed, sighs and gets up. He checks out the apartment, stumbling across the stained glass window. He stares at it, feeling like someone's watching him. But of course, there's no one there. He heads to the bathroom, but when he comes back, he sees a knife stabbed into his stomach. Talk about a bad night. Kim wakes up in the middle of the night, her heart pounding after a bad dream. She notices that the light outside is on, and then sees someone's shadow leave the apartment. She thinks it's the guy Izzy brought home, but when she checks Izzy's room, she's fast asleep, completely unaware. The next day, Kim wakes up late and rushes out for her school orientation, but when she gets there, she finds out it ended almost an hour ago. Ian, the guy at the door, tells her what happened. He just so happens to be the one giving the orientation tour, and to make things a bit better, he offers to give her a tour if she buys him a latte. Kim is all in, excited for the chance to catch up. During the tour, Kim learns Ian is a journalism student, focusing on video. Kim's studying journalism too, with a minor in psychology. They get to talking, and Kim opens up about her situation with her parents and Izzy. Ian nods and says, "You're lucky to have a friend who's like family." Kim feels a bit lighter hearing that. After the tour, Ian mentions he has to cover a protest, but before he leaves, he gives Kim his number. "In case you want to talk again," he says. Kim thanks him, already thinking that maybe her new life at school won't be as lonely as she feared. That night, Kim returns to the apartment, only to find it empty. Izzy went out for drinks, channeling her grief with a little too much alcohol. Kim takes the opportunity to work on a paper about Izzy's situation, but don't worry, Izzy has no idea Kim is writing this. Later that night, Kim wakes up to strange creaking noises coming from the walls. She gets out of bed and is shocked to see a bird flying into the hole in the wall. That's when things get even weirder. She hears loud banging on her door. When she opens it, there's Izzy, looking like she's in a daze, sleepwalking. Izzy is holding a music box, one that clearly belongs to the apartment, and there's blood dripping down her head where she's repeatedly hit it. Kim rushes to help, guiding her back to bed. She tucks her in, feeling the weight of something off in the air. What's happening in this apartment, and why does it feel like it's pulling them in? The next day, during her online class, Kim asks her professor for advice on her psychology paper about Izzy. She wonders if she should get Izzy's permission before writing about her. Her professor advises her to act independently, as long as she's not putting Izzy in any danger or betraying her trust. Kim nods, taking in the advice. Izzy heads out for an audition, and Kim goes to campus to meet up with Ian. As they chat, Kim opens up about her and Izzy's wild adventures. Ian asks her about Izzy's mom and how she passed away. Kim hesitates before telling him that Izzy's mom passed away unexpectedly. One thing Kim feels guilty about the most is that she couldn't go to Izzy's mom's funeral. Her parents disapproved of her friendship with Izzy, and they didn't let her attend. Kim recalls how Izzy called her, asking her to be there, but Kim couldn't make it. The next thing she heard was that Izzy had been rushed to the hospital after taking a bunch of pills. Kim promises herself that she would always be there for Izzy, no matter what. Telling Ian all this brings out a wave of emotions. To cheer her up, Ian takes her on a bike ride, and Kim, feeling lighter, can't help but smile. The wind in her hair and the freedom on the bike make her feel overjoyed, if only for a moment. That night, Kim is chatting on the phone when the mirror she hung to cover the hole falls and shatters on the floor. She sighs, knowing this is just another thing to add to her list of messes. Suddenly, she hears rustling coming from the kitchen and sees Izzy making out with her new girlfriend. Kim tries to step away quietly, but ends up stepping on the broken mirror, hurting her foot. At midnight, Kim hears the eerie sound of the music box playing from the living room. She goes to check it out and finds Izzy standing in front of the stained window, staring at it like she's in a trance. Kim calls her name, but Izzy doesn't answer. Kim gently taps her on the shoulder. Izzy suddenly screams, and when she turns to look at Kim, her eyes are completely different. Before Kim can react, Izzy bolts for the elevator, heading straight for the basement. Kim quickly follows, taking the stairs instead. She finds Izzy in a daze, walking aimlessly. Kim grabs the music box from her and shuts it, hoping to snap her out of it. As soon as she does, Izzy screams again, and in a shocking twist, pees herself as if she has no control over her body. Kim stands there, feeling both terrified and helpless. The next day, Kim tries to comfort Izzy, suggesting she should see a doctor, but Izzy refuses because she doesn't have insurance. Kim feels bad, but doesn't know how to help. Later, she meets up with Ian at school and tells him everything that's been happening. Ian suggests that she should do some research on the apartment to uncover its secrets. He even offers to help her, which Kim gladly accepts. They head back to the apartment, but the door is already open. Kim walks inside and finds the landlord there. He says he came to check on the stained glass and warns Kim about going into the basement the night before. He reminds her, once again, that it's off limits. Kim feels uneasy, but she doesn't back down. Ian is amazed by the stained glass and snaps a picture of it. Kim then shows him the music box Izzy had been holding, and he's puzzled. She also shares the story of the necklace Izzy found in the hole, and Ian's face twists in disbelief. "A necklace?" he says. "In the wall? That's just crazy. And Izzy just wears it?" They start researching the apartment's history. They find a shocking article about the previous owner who murdered his wife. They also discover a list of other people who lived in the apartment and mysteriously disappeared. After all the unsettling research, Kim and Ian share a quiet, passionate moment together. caught between fear and something more intense. The next day, just as Izzy is about to enter the apartment, a mailman hands her a package for Kim. As Izzy steps into Kim's room, an awful smell hits her. She quickly looks around and spots the papers Kim wrote about her. She doesn't look pleased at all. Meanwhile, Ian continues his search for answers. He digs deeper into the history of stained glass windows and finds a church with similar ones. He stares at the window for a while, clearly thinking hard about something, as if a piece of the puzzle is starting to click. Kim, on the other hand, visits the house of a former janitor from their apartment building. The janitor agrees to talk and tells her about the terrible tragedy that struck the previous owners. He mentions that the couple had a baby boy, but he's not sure if he survived the chaos. This makes Kim even more determined to figure out the truth. Kim returns home to find Izzy about to leave again. Izzy is furious. She throws the papers Kim wrote about her right in her face. Kim tries to explain, but Izzy is too hurt to listen. She's upset that Kim is using her pain for schoolwork, and in a fit of rage, she storms out. Kim is left crying, her heart sinking. In her anger, Kim grabs a hammer and starts stabbing the wall, making the hole bigger and bigger. Suddenly, a severed, rotting hand falls from the hole, and Kim freaks out. Her panic grows when the landlord suddenly grabs her from behind, and she can't escape the feeling that something is seriously wrong. Ian is rushing, trying to call Kim, but she's already unreachable. He has discovered something dangerous about the stained glass in room 203 and is frantic to warn her. Meanwhile, Kim wakes up, tied up and gagged. She struggles as she realizes the terrible truth. The landlord is actually the baby of the previous owners. He explains to Kim that the necklace she saw earlier belonged to his mother. He says that the Celtic goddess Migu, who transforms into a crow, is in the building, and whoever wears his mother's necklace will become its next victim. He tells her that the crow must feed, and if it doesn't, it will come after him. Ian finally arrives at the building, rushing to room 203. The door is open, so he enters and finds the severed hand. Before he can react, Izzy appears, but she's different. She's possessed by the crow. She makes Ian sit down and climbs on top of him, staring at him with hunger, like a predator ready to strike. Kim fights back against the landlord, but he captures her. He pulls out his father's journal, which reveals how to feed Migu to stop it. The landlord begins chanting and gets a knife, preparing to stab Kim as a sacrifice. But in a desperate moment, Kim fights back, stabbing him in the eye. She runs for her life, only to find Ian lying lifeless in her apartment after being attacked by the possessed Izzy. Kim follows Izzy, who is heading toward the basement, her body now under Migu's control. The landlord follows too, but something strange happens. His body stiffens, and he loses control of his hand. He points the gun at himself, pulling the trigger in a desperate final act. It seems that he was too late for the ritual, and Migu has claimed him. Kim reaches Izzy, who is still fighting the crow's possession. The Migu's power is strong, but Izzy is trying to fight it off. Kim attempts to pull the necklace from Izzy's neck, but the Migu's strength grows, and Izzy stabs Kim in the process. As the Migu prepares to deliver the final blow, Kim manages to grab the necklace and pulls it off, breaking the crow's hold on Izzy. Izzy's consciousness returns, and the two friends share a moment of relief as the danger finally fades. Now that Izzy is safe, they head back to room 203. Kim knows there's one last thing she needs to do to end it all. She picks up the hammer, determined, and walks over to the stained glass. Suddenly, crows start appearing outside, flapping their wings angrily, but Kim doesn't back down. With a swing of the hammer, she smashes the stained glass. The room shakes, and Kim hopes that breaking the glass will finally break the curse that has haunted them. What do you think was the creepiest moment in room 203? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. So if you liked this, hit subscribe and turn on notifications for more recaps. Thanks for watching. See you next time on Warner Movie Recaps.